I'm Hillary Kativa. I am the Chief Curator of Audiovisual and Digital Collections at the Science History Institute in Philadelphia. I've been attending SAA since 2013. My first meeting was in New Orleans when I was the DVAG travel grant recipient. Yeah. Yes, yeah. So after serving DVAG as secretary and then chair and past chair for a number of years, I'm officially retired from DVAG Planning Committee business. So I've moved on to the MARAC Steering Committee, where I came on in July as a member at large. MARAC stands for the Mid-Atlantic Regional Archives Consortium. So it's more of the regional archives group, so obviously smaller than SAA, our national organization, and encompasses Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, New York, New Jersey, and just the Mid-Atlantic regional states. All have their state caucuses, and then we have a meeting twice a year, one in the fall and one in the spring. The one this fall is coming up at the beginning of November, and it's going to be in Cambridge, Maryland. Is MARAC looking to expand their membership? Well, of course, you know, we always are, just like DVAG is always looking for new members and new ideas, especially. So really just, I would say for MARAC, you know, it's just really important for us to have a diversity of voices. So whether you're a new professional, new to the region, whether you're a student who's exploring a career in archives or maybe a career in public history, not really sure what you want to do, MARAC is a really nice, affordable option to connect with people and to figure out what your career path might look like. And then also, since it's just like DVAG, a member organization, really relies on the volunteering of the membership. Even if you're a mid-career or late-career archivist, there's a lot of opportunity to propose a session at a conference or a working group to really get your voice heard and really shape the program of what we talk about and what is of interest to the field. So I work at the Science History Institute. I'm working mostly with the photograph and AV and our digital collections. You might not know that SAA has a science, technology, and healthcare section. And I went to my first section meeting this year at this SAA. It just worked out in the schedule that I was able to go. So at that session, what was interesting that they talked about was a lot of uncovering hidden or underrepresented voices in science collections. So talking about women who were among the first to get an engineering degree at North Carolina State University. That was really interesting. And also one of the speakers there was from the Texas State Archives, and she talked about finding community movements in opposition to plans in Texas in the 80s and 90s to dispose of nuclear waste materials. So that was really cool too, to hear about. You know, we often in science archives will have a lot of papers or collections that deal with the science of, you know, making something, whether it's nuclear energy or scientific instruments, you know, things of that nature. So then it can really be cool to look in your collections for the more grassroots stories that they tell, and think about, you know, science activism or just kind of the social context of the science. So a lot of what we talk about at the Science History Institute is the social and cultural context of science and scientific discovery. One of our recent initiatives is the Science and Disability Project. So really looking in terms of what are the structures around scientific discovery, and one of those conversations was a public program that we had coming out of that about this idea of the scientist as a lone genius who just is in the laboratory and comes up with this brilliant idea. And we really, though, lose a sense of the social networks and social context that really support scientific discovery and go into a lot of what's discovered and discussed.
Awesome.
So obviously, the last couple of years, there's been a lot of conversations in the archival field about accessibility and disability, and how do we make our collections, our institutions more open. One of the things I was really excited to hear about here at SAA is that the council, on their August 1st meeting, they approved a new section for accessibility and disability. So that section is going to be taking shape. And of course, section membership is open to all SAA members. So look for that information on the listserv in terms of how you can contribute about what the work of that section is going to be. And then looking to my home institution, the Science History Institute, my colleague, Nicole Joniak, who is our digital collections and metadata librarian, she's really been at the forefront of our disability and accessibility conversations, and she recently formed this past year an accessibility working group at the Institute. So it really unites people working in our library and our archives, but also in our museum, public programming, to really have conversations around accessibility and what that looks like at the Institute. Recently, they added to our website a statement on accessibility and how you can get in contact if you want to come in and use the library or come to a public program and need certain accommodations. They've also introduced live captioning for some public programs. So it's just been really interesting to see that work take shape. And they're going to be looking forward towards strategically, where do we go from here as an institution.